Okay, so how's everybody doing? So somebody mentioned to me a while back, could you please show your roster on the SRY River Railway layout? And I thought, what a great suggestion. And of course, like a lot of suggestions, they go on a list. And then when I review my list, I think, okay, maybe this is a good time to do an episode on the roster, like my present roster that are painted and weathered, custom built or whatever presently. Even though I have on the shelf, like most, unpainted undecks, etc., waiting to come into the queue, so to speak. However, before I do that, because you'll see there's one missing here, do you know which one it is? So there's 6 here, but there was 7. Okay, do you know which one's missing? Aha! The BC Rail, the Bowser that I just finished, okay? Now, I have decided to give that particular locomotive, it's one of my best that I've done, and I decided that I would give it over to auction at Intercity Trains and Hobbies. So I'll just show you a quick clip of it. Okay, so yeah, it hurts, but as they say, charity should hurt or it's not charity, in my experience anyway. But I want to, give something back, and if it's being donated to the Children's Hospital, then I'm all for it. Anyway, I'm okay with it because the MLW Bowser 630 doesn't really fit this period, and these ones, well, these 4 do, and these 2 sort of do, but I'm going to talk about these now, okay? And then after I've explained to you what these are and why I like them so much, we're going to go down to Axton Steel, and I'm going to show you what's on my list coming up in the winter when I find time between doing scenery over on Section 3, which I'm showing on Sundays on the channel, and some of the plans that I have deep into the winter dregs at the bench, okay? Okay, so these 6 locomotives, which do not include scale trains, Athearn, Genesis, or Rapido locomotives, even though I have the ladder that I just mentioned on the shelf. I just haven't got around to them yet. I do like some of those other manufacturers, like the late ones or the recent ones, but these are there's 4 Atlas here, a Proto 2000, and a Kato. And I just want to just sort of give you a quick, brief overview on each one. So they've all been basically stripped and repainted, except for this one, but I'll talk about that at the end. And because this one I didn't even use an airbrush, it was all hand painted, which is a testimony to the fact that even if you don't have an airbrush, you can still do really cool paint jobs and authentic ones without an airbrush. So this SD35 is an Atlas, and this was donated to me by the Second Section podcast, Andy. I paid him the shipping. He sent it to me. It was one of those projects that, we all have, like I have them too, that just we're not happy with. And it had probably been dropped not by him, but by the person on eBay that he bought it from. But I found that out later. So it took quite a bit of work to get it to where it is. If you want to look at, like I covered the whole build, the whole detailing, strip, like painting, everything. If you go to the channel and go to the search bar in the middle of the channel and just type SD35, like they'll queue up, or custom locomotive playlists, it's all in there. This is actually a really good runner. There is no capacitors in this particular locomotive, so it still runs really good. It has ESU motherboard and decoder and Motel models, ditch lights, etc. The normal practice that I do, and I love it. And it's one of the cleaner ones because prototypically it is. It was the most recent one they acquired, SRY Rail Link, and it was really well done, like a really nice restoration. And isn't it nice to have locomotives on your layout that are like running today, that are 50 years old and they're EMD? Okay, so here's one of my very, very favorites. And even though this isn't of the quality of, let's say, like the BC Rail Bowser or any of the most recent locomotives, this has a special place in my heart, if I can say that. It's a Kato. Well, it was actually a kit bash as well. Like this was a GP38 Longhorn, I think. Anyway, it's all appropriate, but you can't, like, Kato doesn't make an SD38 like AC. Okay, they do make SD38s, but the ACs are different. I'm not going to go into all those details, but this is got the full Canon cab, fully scratched, detailed interior cab with the opening windows. It's a little bit maybe rough because it's older and been redone so many times, but you know how it is when you have a locomotive? It just, becomes your favorite. And this has, I think this is the third motherboard I finally put in, the integrated power pack by ESU. It's all got Motel models, LEDs with lenses, etc., etc. It's really an excellent running locomotive, Kato. It's hard to beat Kato when it comes to just pure, smooth running, okay? Now, that's my 6-axle mainline sort of haulers for SRY. Here are two little sweeties that I've had all the way back from Glover Road. This is an Atlas MP15 X Amtrak, which I stripped completely and redone with the ESU motherboard, decoder, etc. Ditch lights. I added ditch lights on all of these locomotives because all the locomotives on this particular short line in Canada require ditch lights if you're running on mains. And because SRY Rail Link interchanges with Class 1 railroads, you have to have ditch lights. So that's the reason for that. And these are really, like, these get the most runtime on the channel. This is a Walther's Proto, like /Proto 2000. I'm going to show you down at Axis Steel when we go down to see my next project. I'll explain to you a little bit more about that. This only has one flywheel. It has ESU as well. It's been overhauled and done super detailed. These two run flawlessly. And I've mentioned before that this particular MP15 will run through 2 lines in the sand. Like, I say that because it blows me away. It runs on my worst track. It doesn't have integrated power pack. It never seems to stall. It just keeps on going. Why that is, I really don't know. Maybe it's the wheelbase. I was talking to old buddy Hal there from Central Hobbies about it, and he said that it's possibly due to there was was it a Rico drive, or anyway, not Kato drive. It was another drive that some of these units back in the day used, and they were superb. So maybe that's the reason why for that. And this is really awesome runner, which surprised me with one flywheel. And you can buy these, like I bought these pre-tear for like $100, like DC only. So they're just a real bargain, and I love them. And they're the Proto 2000. That's what they are, basically, that were bought out by Walther's. So these two locomotives here were basically Atlas units, older units. This is the -839B that BC Rail had a bunch of these, I think 6 of them or something, and then eventually they were shipped down to Mexico during their time. And this is one of the nicest Atlas locomotive models, like stock models out of the box that you can get, like in terms of just the details on it and the handrails. Like, you'll find that with manufacturers. One locomotive will be really nice and the other one not so great. Like, it's just the nature of the beast when it comes to this hobby. But I really went over this. I put the lights on the nose and the bell and the 6-stitch lights on the front, etc. But I will be re-ing this and putting in a new ESU power integrated motherboard because I really love this locomotive. The paint job turned out awesome, and no airbrush work. So it's really special to me as well, even though it's not everybody's cup of tea, but the paint job turned out really well on this, okay? Now this one here is an old workhorse from the Glover Road layout that I built 4 or 5 years ago. This is an Atlas GP40-2 wide cab. This was a bit of an experiment. I'll just say this quickly. Like I took maybe too much weight out of this locomotive. I put in, I wanted to try 4 speakers, like 2 in series and then the 2 blocks in tandem. The sound is really good. The recording's pretty good by ESU. There's no integrated power pack in this either, but once in a while it just seems to stall. And I think it's because I took too much weight out of it to accommodate the custom speaker enclosure that I built. I just wanted to try it out. And I'll just say in closing on this part, there's no need for 4 speakers ever in an HL scale locomotive. In fact, you don't even really need 2 a lot of times. One good speaker with a decent speaker enclosure is all you really need if you have a really good recording. Okay, so let's go down to Axton Steel, down to section 1, and I want to talk about a future project that I might be working on very soon, okay? Okay, so here we are in section 1, the Axton Steel there, and then the barge ramp down this way. So I just want to close with what I have in mind when I find the time what I want to do next, because I always wanted to do a slug and another GP9. Now I just picked up this AB mother slug unit, this by Rapido, and it has the slug and the GP9, but it has the it's the CN version, which they will eventually be putting out these, and I'm sure they're thinking about this as well, because this is exactly like, it's actually an XCN. I'll show you a photo of it. GP10 or 9 or something. I'd have to look into it a little bit deeper, but I'm going to show you a photo of this. And here it is. This rail link 002. Now they have 2 slugs. They have one that has the DeFasco trucks. It's a shorter wheelbase, like SW900 style. This is the EMD, I believe, well, they said it's a GP10 chassis. So this, like, I have many photos of this, okay? This is exactly the same as this Canadian National slug. It's exactly, like all the vents, the railings, stanchions, all the underbody detail, the whole thing. The only difference is I'll have to add ditch lights to this. Now, what I want to do is I want to couple this to another GP9, not the Rapido one. I have other plans for that. Here's a photo, and I want to give credit to, where credit is due to Dave Stewart. So this is a Dave Stewart photograph, okay? This is, I believe this is somewhere near New Westminster. Anyway, you can see the GP9 and the slug. So this is this, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to strip this and repaint this and use the decals from micro scale. And then here is the Proto 2000, or Walther's Mainline / Proto 2000 that I'm going to strip and redo just like this one, which I love. The Proto 2000 are so awesome. They run awesome. They're easy to convert and to put new motherboards and decoders in, and they're just a dream and a joy. For most of you that are experienced in this and know about Proto 2000, they are one of the best specimens to use for a conversion and to super detail. Okay, so let me just close with this. So people have asked, are you going to do a background? Like, you know, so there will be no photo backdrop on this layout. It will be painted, and all it will be is, you see this line right here, this mountain line, this is what BC looks like, and this is what it looks like when you're standing just like this everywhere on this railroad, like in this photo. It'll be a faint blue all over this blue. Eventually, wherever the trees are, buildings are, that's all you're going to see, because the whole area, no matter where you look, is surrounded by a mountain range. Okay, so this, when I find time, is what I'm going to do with this to add to the present roster that I have now. Okay, so I just want to say cheers, thanks for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers for all the support, for viewing and supporting the channel the way you do, which is unique by everyone. And thank you for all the comments, the really good questions, just the general loyalty to the channel that has really made this channel what it is, and helps to inspire me to provide better content for you. Okay, so cheers, happy modeling, and I hope that you have a great day.